Although theoretically conventional on paper, with one of the most exciting leading lady combos and Todd Haynes at the helm, one should expect quality. But nothing can prepare you for the strangeness that is watching this film. My name is Ren, and this is my review of May December. Welcome back, Film Festival fans. Thank you for joining the discussion on Todd Haynes' latest, a film that I cannot begin to convey the strangeness of watching, but I will try my best. 20 years after their notorious tabloid romance gripped the nation, a married couple buckles under the pressure when an actress arrives to do research for a film about their past. Full disclosure, all I knew about May December going in was that Todd Haynes directed, starring Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. And let me tell you, it is one of the most bizarrely entertaining films I have seen in the London Film Festival. My advice to you, and I don't know how much the trailers reveal, is to go into it completely blind without any of the trailers. You ask yourself, is this a drama? Is this a thriller? Is this a comedy? It is all of them. And it perfectly balances all these tones in the strangest way possible. May December has a very specific tone. It has a very specific sense of humor. And Todd Haynes lets you into that humor right away. You will either be on board with it or not. I was very on board with it. It makes for a very unpredictable mystery as Natalie Portman probes into Julianne Moore's life to uncomfortable degrees. Those degrees and the balancing act that Todd Haynes manages to achieve in this film not only make the intrigue, the tension enormous between these two people, but also makes the comedy extremely elevated. The dynamic between these two devilishly entertaining women is sensational. You're never really sure which one is supposed to be portrayed as the bad guy or the good guy, and it makes the dynamic between them so interesting. Every exchange between the two is dealing with multiple layers of meaning, and all of them seem perfectly valid, and they both play it with incredible nuance. Their chemistry is sensational, and it's also Todd Haynes' framing of each moment that just makes your mind race about the possibilities of what he's trying to convey tonally, and somehow none of it feels distracting or undermines the other possibilities in each scene. There are moments that tonally play more obvious than others, whether it is Natalie Portman doing secret research around Julianne Moore without her knowing, or Julianne Moore talking shit about this intrusive actress who is meddling with her life and sticking a nose up not her business, but the way certain characters react to certain moments or finding out certain information just subverts all expectations and yet lines up perfectly not only with their arcs in this film, but also with who they are defined to be along the film. There are so many outrageously funny moments in this movie, and sometimes it's just because of the framing that Todd Haynes so meticulously prepares. He will let you sit in moments that become so uncomfortable you cannot help but laugh. He makes very bold strategies in this film where usually in a scene you want to arrive as late as possible and leave as soon as possible. None of that here. Todd Haynes will sit on it before it really gets started just so you can start to feel the tension or the awkwardness about this person isn't really doing anything here. And then the scene unfolds and you realize exactly why that character needed to be there. And it also dives into this strange, strenuous marriage of a very illegal situation that occurred between Julianne Moore and her now husband, Charles Melton, who was in 7th grade when they got together and she became pregnant. What's most interesting about his character is that he seems to have his whole life figured out. He's married, he prepares the barbecues, he has a whole family with a kid in college that looks like she could be his sister. But then the younger kids also have this dynamic where they feel more like brothers, and slowly you realize this dude has become so strenuous. He has become so stifled in his relationship where he grew up so much exponentially faster than he ever should. He never really had these formative experiences in his teenage years. All I'll say is one of the funniest moments in May December involves this dude smoking a doobie with his son. But it's the wider context that adds layers of tone to it. The tone in this film, I know I'm talking about it a lot, but it's genuinely fascinating, whether it is what the film wants to convey or really the dynamic between characters. And Natalie Portman weaseling her way in just demonstrates brilliant nuance from her as an actress, but she's also working with layers. She's an actress playing an actress preparing for a role that is going to be essentially a biopic. And you see these sides of the person intrigued, curious, but also a relentless professional searching for the truth in her material, in what she's trying to achieve, and how the lines sometimes blur between the person and the actress, the professional and the personal. It's just a wild romp. It goes into full soap opera territory. You need to be prepared for this superficial tonal whiplash, as it's not something Haynes eases you into. He throws it directly at you and trusts you to be on board with it. But it's something that he carefully orchestrates all through the film as it goes into these weird, bizarre directions that, again, at points you never really know how to react, but it naturally elicits a reaction. This constant tonal balancing act elevates the sense of unpredictability to what the characters are going to say or what they're going to do, becomes very blurred and not easy to see coming. To me, it's the most masterful tonal balance I have seen in quite a while. The one thing Todd Haynes doesn't manage to balance so well is the multiple storylines, as certain story threads feel severely undercaked, underdeveloped, or really just left by the wayside. His commitment to explore more and Portman as an interesting dynamic with many differences, but also without themselves realizing so many similarities, incredible moments between these two, whether it is Portman's memorable lisp or Portman's undeniable commitment to her craft in character, is sensational to see. Just the two of them bouncing off each other so naturally with such snap and wit. It is a highly entertaining romp. I'm not going to say I took too much out of it. To me, essentially the message of this film is actors are weird, people can be weird. I can't say I was too emotionally invested in anything, but it certainly consistently gave me a hell of a laugh. So before I dive into my final thoughts on May December, it's time for you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this film? What is your favorite Todd Haynes film? And if you're liking my London Film Festival coverage, there's more reviews right up here for you to check out. If you want to see more, and stay tuned, if you want to talk more movies and TV, this is the place to be. Consider clicking that subscribe button, and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. May December is a proper campy romp. Haynes' clever and understated direction perfectly convey an uncomfortable yet entertaining look at the unsettling, devilish dynamic between Portman and Moore. Its thriller undertones are surprisingly effective, and the result is a soapy delight. I'm giving May December a B. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it is as big a riot to you as it was to me, and for you to start the conversation about it down there. Big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel, and I'll be back very soon with more London Film Festival reviews. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.